We are now recording. So thank you for joining us, everyone, tonight. Those of you viewing on at home or later on, we'd like to welcome you to our Parent Information Night on the Health Sciences program at West Valley School District. I'll introduce Dr. Finch to introduce everybody here and what we're doing tonight.
And welcome, everyone. I'm Peter Finch, Superintendent for the West Valley School District. Appreciate you joining us here this evening. And just want to share that last spring, when we were talking about ways to improve West Valley, one of the things that came from our parents was that we have many outstanding programs, but maybe not everyone knows about the opportunities that there are for every student as they come through our system. And so we wanted to share this evening about our health science pathway. The health science pathway starts at 7th grade, either at our mid-level campus with our 7th grade human body system class, or 7th grade at the Innovation Center with the health science cohort, and then moves through the pathway at the high school. We have many science classes in biology, and then we have the sports therapy. Jeannie Martin will be speaking about that this evening. That's actually a class that is articulated with Yakima Valley College for dual credit. So students have high school credit and college credit in that class. At the Innovation Center, students progress through the health science pathway. They have the opportunity to take dual credit classes through Arizona State University. So there's just a lot of opportunity for our kids here in West Valley. And then once they graduate, there are many local training programs, post-secondary opportunities for health sciences. Yakima Valley College is a center for excellence for allied health for the state of Washington. And then we're just so grateful that we have Pacific Northwest University here in Yakima, where students can progress all the way to get graduate degrees in health science. And we're so appreciative that some representatives from Pacific Northwest University, including the president of Pacific Northwest University, are with us here this evening for this Zoom. So just really appreciate everyone's participation. And I'm going to turn it back to Jen.
Thank you. And now we have Carl Iverson, one of the 7th grade science teachers, to tell us a little bit about the 7th grade science program.
Okay, we got a lot of good things going on in our program, and I work with Josh Robbins and Jen Briggs and myself. And if you look at the programs that we work on, we start off the year with lab safety and scientific method. We go over the safety of labs and what they're supposed to do with different things and what they are not supposed to do with certain things. And then we do the scientific method. We start with that and teach them about how to investigate and how to look up different things in the scientific method, and also to able to use a scientific method to solve scientific problems and inquiries. Then we go to microscopes and cells, and we've got a set of microscopes at every room, and we all have labs that we're able to use to use the microscopes. And we have a lot of different slides that we use for the human body systems and cells. We also do some cheek swabs, ear swabs. We look at some different things that are growing on the body, and we talk a little bit about that and about bacteria and viruses during this time. The kids find that very interesting, and we get to learn a lot. And then after that, we go to genetics and DNA, which we just finished up. And in genetics and DNA, we give a rundown of the introduction to genetics and DNA and the importance of how it's passed on from the parents. And we mainly deal with the human body systems, and we do talk a little bit about other organisms and animals, and about that, and about how mutations and adaptation goes through in life. We do the nervous system, which is how the cells go from toes to the brain and to the different parts of the body, and how that works. Right now we're working on the skeletal and muscle systems, And this one, the students really enjoy it, and we are able to do some different labs with it. And going back to the nervous system, we're able to do how muscles work, and that carries over to the muscle system, and different experiments that we do with that, to see how it goes from the feet and the hands to the brain and back. And we learned the bones. If you look at the one picture there, it's got a human body there that they're putting in the different organs that we cover. And that leads us to nutrition and digestion, which is what we'll start after Christmas. And we talk about nutrition. We talk a lot about things that we can do in the nutrition, things that we need to change, and how to the nutrition goes to the digestion and how it works in the human body. And then from there we go to the circulatory and the respiration system, and from there how the blood works and how the oxygen is passed from the different parts of the body. And then we do comparative anatomy, and we do dissections during this time, and we dissect earthworms, grasshoppers, pig hearts, and frogs. And we're looking to maybe dissect a few more things this year, things that we can compare with the human anatomy and how it works. And then we end the year with first aid and CPR, and we teach first aid, and then we we're going to try to get them endorsed in their CPR, get their CPR card. And we're I know we've set a goal to try to get that in every grade. And so they repeat it. And so that way they're endorsed in their CPR card. And that's kind of a rundown of the year. There's a couple of things that, if you see that green paper there, I can hold this, I can't really see that, but what does is we have our standards all aligned with the state standards, and we do a pre and a post test, and so we can see how well they've done from the start to the finish. And those are things that we do every unit, and we have the standards aligned with the state standards in every unit also. And so that's kind of a rundown of what we do in the 7th grade.
Well, thank you. And one thing in the 7th grade too is they've really started to stress is more the exploration and the investigation by students, having the students really look at it with the inquiry mind, and why do the things work the way they do, and how does one part of the body or system build upon and impact another part. So it's kind of been good that the 7th grade science is really trying to get students thinking about what's going to happen next if they do something, or how one system impacts another one. So now we'll do is that's 7th grade science. 8th grade science, they relate more into some of the physical environment and physics and engineering, kind of some design stuff. And then we get into our freshman year where all students take family health. And then we have our high school health science teacher, Jeannie Martin Turner, is going to talk to us a little bit about all the different programs that she's involved with.
Awesome. Thanks, Jed. As Jed said, my name is Jeannie Martin Turner. I teach sports medicine and anatomy and physiology. I also am the licensed athletic trainer, and I work after school taking care of all the athletes. And so this gives kids an opportunity in my sports med class to do some job shadow hours, which is a component. The sports medicine program was started in 1996 here at West Valley High School by Bonnie Smith, who moved on to do some administrative stuff and is currently the principal down at Toppenish. And I took it over in 99, and I've grown the program from having 2 classes to now having full load. And then about 6 years ago, I started teaching anatomy and physiology, which kind of stems off of what 7th grade science is doing. So in my sports medicine class, we go through first aid, we go through how to take care of injuries. We learn a lot of terminology. We take care of, learn all sorts of different types of wrap and tape jobs, spine boarding, splinting, and then just also talk about nutrition. In the anatomy class, we go from learning about the cells, which again is rehashing what hopefully they learned in 7th grade and retained a little bit, and also in 9th grade biology or sophomore biology, depending on when they take it. And then we move on into the skin system. We go through all the 11 body systems. Some body systems are a little bit more in depth than others. Partly depends on how well the kids are getting it. I tend to go through breadth and not necessarily depth. It's definitely an introductory course with anatomy and hopefully geared towards those kids who are looking at going into the medical field, whether it's becoming a doctor, a nurse, a physical therapist, an athletic trainer, a chiropractor, dentist, dental hygienist, massage therapist. So we kind of hit the whole gamut. And as Dr. Fitch alluded to, I have tech prep credit or dual credit with YDC. I also have a connection with Perry Tech, where if a kid has gone through my program and then they choose to go to Perry Tech's medical billing and coding or medical assisting, they can get $1,000 towards their tuition, having gone through my program, and we have that articulation as well. As far as club opportunities, we have a sports therapy club that both anatomy kids and sports medicine kids can be a part of. And we take part in fact, next week, we're going to go to YD Tech and do winter leadership, where kids get to do some of the stuff that you see on the screen, some casting. They get a look at an anatomage table that YD Tech has. And then in April is when I like to take kids to our state sports medicine competition. So we have a lot of extended learning opportunities as well as leadership building opportunities in my program. And we just hope to continue it. And I think it is a great skill set that kids can develop in my class and then build on, whether they want to go to a 2-year school or a 4-year school or just a 1-year program. Healthcare is, I believe, second in our local area behind ag as far as in demand areas or careers. So it's just about building the program and getting kids interested and hopefully giving them a leg up for their future in healthcare or medicine. So thank you, Jed.
Thank you. As you can see, there's a lot of opportunity. Some of the neat things I like in observing those classes, it's hands-on learning, but it's intense learning too, where students are coming out of the programs there, as you mentioned, the 9th grade health, sports therapy, nat and phys is you're learning a lot in that course, but the students are having fun doing it because they're learning through that tactile or hands-on way of learning. So at West Valley, we have our middle level campus. A number of the students from there moved to our high school, but we also then the past year have opened up a grades 7 through 12 innovation center. So it gives students another way to learn. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to introduce Brandon Austin, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the 7th through 9th grade health science program at the Innovation Center.
Hello, my name is Brandon Austin. This is my 2nd year at the Innovation Center doing 7th through 9th grade CTE health science. So our focus is at the start in our 7th grade, 8th grade and 9th grade programs is to take a lot of those concepts that are covered at the junior high in that course, going through body systems, going through exploration of cells, nutrition, all of those, and to take that and expand upon it and really try to introduce other standards related to academics, such as ELA standards, integrating some other science standards, all with that CTE lens. And so we're using the NCHSE National Health Consortium standards on top of 21st century leadership skills to really build a well-developed course where students are able to still gain those grade level academic skills in math, language arts, but through that health science lens. And so we spend quite a bit of time on body systems. We we try to do our certification for first aid and CPR for all of our 7th through 9th grade students. And so I have the pleasure of getting to work with not only my core students, but also students from our other pathways in computer science, in engineering, agriculture and robotics, and our exploratory courses. And so one of my big goals this year is to have close to, if not 100% CPR and first aid certification with all of our 7th through 9th grade students. We also have units that focus on not only anatomy and physiology introductory courses, but also taking students through fitness courses. And so I get the chance to take students to the gym, let them develop their own personal fitness goals, which they work on throughout the semester. So they're able to earn some of those PE credits as well. We do a little section in nutrition where students actually get the chance to earn their food handlers card through the state of Washington and are able to cook in class and try some of those hands-on skills along with that. And so that is just some of what we're doing. My goal is to take students from that 7th grade start all the way through 9th grade and continue to work through those major units of body systems and cells, but continue to go deeper through each year. And so we have a class where students, 7th, 8th, and 9th graders are all together, but they're all looking at the same units through a different lens and continuing to dig deeper. So by the time they get to that 10 through 12 pathway, they're able to continue through and gain those high school level skills.
Thank you, Brandon. And that brings us then to Crystal Graham, who teaches our 10th through 12th grade health science program, where the students would continue on from Brandon Austin. So Crystal, if you want to tell us a little bit more about that program.
Yeah, so I teach in the same school that Brandon does. So we are doing kind of the same concept where our kids are going to be, they're with us for a long block of time and they are earning standards or achieving standards in a variety of subjects, just like through a health sciences lens, like he said. Just an overview of what my year kind of contains is the fundamentals of healthcare, including law and ethics, being culturally sensitive, and exploring different healthcare systems, healthcare delivery systems, and then healthcare management systems. Then we are getting into high school level anatomy and physiology, which includes hands-on dissections of a variety of things. And then they get their chance to practice some hands-on patient care skills, taking vital signs, practicing like with suture kits, not on each other, of course. But things like that. We continue on with a CPR and first aid certification and keeping them current on that. My kids, I didn't put this on here, but my kids also all obtained a HIPAA certification this year as part of the law and ethics unit that we did. And then we also look into exploring health careers a little bit more deeply and seeing how many there are out there and where this knowledge could take them. As they progress through my class, starting as 10th graders and then three years down the road, ending as seniors, they will have the opportunity to test and attain a certificate as or a certificate in medical terminology, or sit for an exam as a medical assistant if they're old enough. If they're not, they can be prepared for it and wait till they turn 18. And then there are opportunities for them to work in the community and serve their community by providing health education to kids, both kids their age, kids younger than them, going and visiting the elementary schools and teaching kids how to do things like brush their teeth, wash their hands, that kind of thing, and just building their leadership skills that way. And then also doing health screenings of kids within our school and even adults that might want to have, we might set up some screenings and have like their blood pressure taken, things like that. And then there's community partnerships that we've been really lucky to connect with Pacific Northwest University, take our kids out there to visit and show the kids what it might be like in the real workplace. I just added a few pictures here of some things that we've done so far this year as far as hands-on learning goes. In one of our units, they got the opportunity to, after learning about the chain of infection and the cycle of infection, they learned a lot about personal protective equipment, which this generation is a lot more familiar with than any other generation before them. But they still learned the difference of the different pieces and how they work and why they work the way they do. We did a big unit on medical math, which is where you could see another subject come into our classroom. It's not a math class, but this was a big math unit with a lot of math involved. And after learning to do all of that math, they got to be a pharmacy tech for a day and use candy and fill their prescriptions after they did all their math. We've also worked with microscopes and looked at different types of human cell tissues, differentiating the way that different tissues look. And then most recently, just before Thanksgiving, we had the opportunity to look at some fresh bones, both cows and deer. And just for the kids to see like a real life example of what marrow might look like, or what soft bone or spongy bone versus hard bone, that kind of thing might look like. So they really enjoyed that. And we're going to continue doing lots of hands-on projects as the year goes on.
Thank you. So as you can see in the district, we have a lot of opportunities with students starting in 7th grade at the middle level campus and 7th grade at the Innovation Center, and moving up either to the high school or Innovation Center, but all three buildings have a lot that goes into the health science. And I think one of the key areas is our connection of our instructors to each other and then to the outside world. So it allows things to build one step on, keep kind of building up and scaffolding up and build those connections. So some more local opportunities. And I didn't even think Jeannie talked about Perry Tech, so I should have added that to the list quickly. But we have a student, once they graduate, you have right here within an hour and a half, you have YVC, you have Heritage, we have Perry Tech, we have Central Washington University, WSU and Tri-Cities, and then Pacific Northwest University of Health Sciences. So a lot of things right here in our own area, so a student doesn't have to go too far away from Yakima if they don't want to pursue a career in health sciences. And tonight then, we're going to hear a little bit more about Pacific Northwest University of Health Science right in our own community here. And for that, then we have Dr. Agatap to tell us a little more about that.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So Pacific Northwest University, we are basically in the backyard of Yakima. And so we have been established since 2005. We do offer quite a number of programs and new programs that will be coming on campus. Currently, right now, we offer our DO program, which is our Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine degree. We are now accepting applications, of course, for a Doctor of Physical Therapy, Masters of Arts in Medical Sciences, our Masters of Occupational Therapy, which we are launching, which will have our first cohort next year, and also our post-professional occupational therapy. And we are having our developing Doctor of Dental Medicine offered in 2025. I don't know, Dr. Lawler, if you'd like to add anything about maybe the background of PNWU.
Well, I mean, you're covering it nicely, but we PNWU is a 17-year-old institution created here in Yakima to serve the needs of communities like Yakima, Central Washington, and really to serve rural and medically underserved communities. So, and this came about because of leaders and healthcare providers here in Yakima, many who are known to the community because they remain in our community. So we're driven by mission. If you're interested in helping out a community that you think needs help in healthcare, then this is the place to go, and we want to be part of your education going forward. I've got to say, I'm just very impressed with West Valley's preparation of students. The students should feel very confident about the work that you're doing and the curriculum that you're using and preparing these students to go forward. But there are lots of opportunities. All the institutions that were mentioned earlier, from YVC, Perry Tech, Heritage, Central Washington, WSU, these are our partners. So we're working with them because we want local students to come to PNW if they want to be a healthcare provider and they want to advance their career. So we're eager to work with all the students that are going to be listening to this, and to their parents and to teachers that are in the region. I'm going to turn it back over to Dr. Agata.
Yes, and even though our program is specifically more of a graduate level, it's really great for students to kind of think about what field that they may be interested in pursuing. And some of that would be, the classes that they would be taking in high school. I would say if you're interested in the Masters of Medical Science, or even becoming a doctor, a DO, or a medical doctor, taking classes and doing well in chemistry or biological sciences, or even physiology, especially, and anatomy. and nutrition. That's also important. And that would be also the same for the occupational therapy, even though it says no prerequisites needed prior to our for our application. It's really important to know physiology and also nutrition and biology. And so like the sports medicine program that was mentioned earlier is something that would be really helpful for students who may be interested in occupational therapy as well as physical therapy. And so these types of courses, the hardcore science courses in high school is really important, especially touching upon the physiology aspect, the biology, the chemistry, the nutrition. In addition to all of the courses, you know, taking, having leadership type of skills and experience, if you can, in the high school level would also be something that would help students to grow and learn that important skill set, which is also going to be very important if they plan to pursue a field, you know, in the medical field, becoming potentially a doctor. And what I also suggest in terms of other helpful things for high school students to think about would be, there are so many different types of fields in the medical field that's good to maybe extracurricular type of activities during the summer, participating and looking, working or volunteering at places, at hospitals, physical therapy places, occupational. I think that would also be helpful to help them open their eyes that it's not just physical therapy, you're just going to work with, you know, sports, you know, teams or anything like that. It's a lot more broader than that. So having more exposure early on would really help them to fully understand and to help them narrow down as they get closer and closer to starting to apply to medical programs and our programs here at PNWU.
Well, perfect. Well, thank you. That was good. So here you've got to see, if you're just joining us now, we had a few people join us partway through the recording. So you want this will be posted tomorrow to our YouTube channel and on the district's website. So you'll be able to go back and watch us from its beginning. But you've kind of been able to see that starting in 7th grade, whether it be at the mid-level campus or the Innovation Center, a student can start to explore really a wide array of how their body works, how different systems work inside. And then moving on either upwards through the Innovation Center or up to the high school, all the different programs there and a number of opportunities to, I think with like sports therapy, really branch out and attend sporting events, work in the sporting events, actually put the things that you're learning into practice. And that's growing at the Innovation Center as that takes off too as well. And then we saw that there's a number of local partners that once you graduate, you can go to get that undergrad degree in the area, all within an hour and a half. And then the nice thing is with PNWU right here in Yakima is once you have the undergrad degree, you can take that or another advanced degree to PNWU and accelerate from there. So you guys want to, maybe the last thing is our partners from PNWU may share that after a student graduates or after they get the degree from you guys, what kind of fields are they going into, or what are some of those things that they're doing in our area?
Well, I'll make a quick comment on that. You know, we're a young university focused on primary care fields, family medicine, pediatrics. We want students to enter those areas, and our mission is to serve rural and medically underserved communities. So our little university here in Yakima, there are 192 medical schools in the country, providing the DO degree and the MD degree combined. So of those 192 medical schools in the country, we're ranked in the top 10 in 3 areas. We produce the highest percentage of primary care providers, and then physicians that serve in medically underserved areas, and then physicians that serve in rural areas. So it's not just that Yakima's convenient place to go to school. This is actually becoming a nationally known medical school because of our mission and because of our commitment. And so by the time your 7th graders and 8th graders and 9th graders end up at our school, you know, we will, it'll be an important part of the community and also an important part of the national medical education. So I'm really proud of it, and we're very eager to see students locally apply to our program and help with healthcare in this region. Dr. Agatep, anything else?
What I'd like to add is that, what I suggest too is maybe if there are students who still have not yet had the opportunity to have a tour of PNWU, I strongly encourage if you have any students who might want to see firsthand on the different types of programs. I think that's also very helpful for them to, it really broadens their ideas of the different programs and medical programs that are out there. So as the director of admissions here at PNWU, I'd be more than happy to answer questions or even invite those who would like to have a tour of our campus as well.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. To all of our presenters, if you want to reach out to any of the presenters, if they had some information you want to follow up on or learn more about, some of the contact information is up on the screen right now. And again, this will be sent out and available later on. So again, thank you all. And I'm going to stop the recording, but if anybody has any questions, any of our guests that want to go through and ask anything, you can do that now.